Thank you all for joining the ServiceNow webinar, What's New in Zurich for Legal and Contract Operations. A few housekeeping items. We do have Q&A time at the end of this webinar. However, we do encourage you to ask questions using the Q&A button instead of the chat to submit questions. We have a number of members of our product team who can then answer the questions you post. This webinar is recorded and will be shared following this event at the same link you used to register. And then finally, there will be a survey after the webinar, and we would encourage you to please answer the survey so that we can improve these over time. My name is Shafath Syed, and I work in the outbound product management team uh, in the legal and contract operations product. And I'm joined by my colleague, Ben.
Hey everybody, I'm Ben Kurzman. I'm a also outbound product manager in the legal and contract operations team. So we're excited to present with you today.
Great. We do encourage you to join other ServiceNow webinars to learn about all the different product capabilities. And with that, the agenda, we have three topics on the agenda. First will be an overview of legal and contract operations. Then we'll cover what's new in legal service delivery and what's new in Contract Management Pro. There may be some forward-looking statements that we present, and with any foreign future capabilities, there may be changes. So this is our standard safe harbor statement. The goal of the legal and contract operations product is to really help accelerate business outcomes through efficient operations and management of contracts. The two products we have to help you do that is legal service delivery, which is all about going wide across the legal department to help streamline legal work, uh, provide out-of-the-box workflows to automate common business legal processes, as well as provide dashboards and analytics for visibility about what work is coming in and how long it's taking. And the second product that we have is Contract Management Pro, which is all about going deep into the area of contracts. Everything from employees requesting a contract to the legal team authoring contracts, handling signatures, contract repository, obligation management with a foundation in AI analytics. So the legal service delivery product provides self-service for employees so that the legal team doesn't have to answer common or mundane questions and can focus on more strategic legal work. Provides a single workspace for the legal team, which you're seeing on screen here, the Legal Counsel Center, so that the legal team knows exactly what they should be focused on. Um, the standard out-of-the-box workflows helps accelerate the automation process, and then there are dashboards for visibility. These are the workflows that come with the legal service delivery product. They cover many areas in legal, such as compliance, conflict of interest, gifts and entertainment, to contracts, privacy assessments, stock pre-clearance, many different areas that are common to corporate legal organizations. And our Contract Management Pro application, as I mentioned earlier, handles everything from the contract request all the way through to obligation management. And Ben will be talking more about Contract Management Pro. So first, before we get into the Zurich release, I'll cover some of the capabilities we introduced in the May release earlier this year, in case you may not be aware. In May, we released the Triage Legal Request, which helps automate the process for general legal requests, which is a very common first step that organizations take to get out of email and into a structured intake process. Now, triage legal request does require Now Assist for legal service delivery or LCO. So if you're unsure whether your organization is entitled to that, please ask your ServiceNow account team. And what the triage legal request does is it analyzes the incoming general legal request and determines the right category. Typically, these general legal requests just have a couple of fields of information, such as a short description and a description. And this agent will constantly look at all of the incoming general legal requests, analyze it, recommend the category to a fulfiller, ask them to confirm that, and then even go as far as transferring that general legal request to the correct intake or catalog item, and then potentially send that to the employee to help um, get that to the right team. And what I'll do now is show a quick demo of the triage legal request. It's about a 3-minute demo.
As an employee, we're going to start in the Employee Center portal and open a general legal request and submit that our credit card information has been compromised by a third-party vendor. Now let's switch over to the workspace for the legal team, which is called the Legal Counsel Center. Within the Legal Counsel Center, we're going to open up that Now Assist panel, and we're going to see that there are some chats in that Now Assist panel. Here we see the triage legal request agent running. And when we open up that triage legal request, we'll see that it's processed one general legal request. There is the description of it. And we're going to see how it's processing this. You can see the steps here that have been taken. And it's predicted that the category is a privacy assessment. You can see why it determined that particular category, because it found 3 previous records that were very similar. Now, you don't have to have any existing records, but it helps to have some that are similar so that it's more accurate. And now the agent is going to ask the legal fulfiller if it's okay to transfer that general legal request to a new privacy assessment request. As the legal fulfiller, I'm simply going to type in yes to confirm, and the agent will continue and do the transfer. We can see that the agent has provided a confirmation that it has transferred the category to privacy assessment. So let's open up the original general legal request and take a look. We can see that that general legal request has been canceled and a new request has been transferred, which is 1095. If we open up that new request, we will see that the category is now privacy assessment, and it's been assigned to the legal privacy team. The legal fulfiller can complete the missing information in that new request or send that request back to the employee to fill out additional information. We just saw how the triage legal request agent analyzed an incoming general legal request and determined the right category. It made the recommendation to the fulfiller asking for confirmation and then did the transfer of that general legal request to the new category.
Okay, that concludes the demo for the triage legal request. So we're quite excited about that. It's the first agent for legal service delivery. And now we'll talk about what's new in the Zurich release for legal service delivery. Many of our customers have asked us to add a legal hold capability. And so we released a legal hold notification. What this does is it simplifies the process of notifying custodians, employees in your organization about a legal request that is coming up or happening, provides a notice that they can review, and then the ability for them, the custodians, to acknowledge that uh, notice, and provides all of that information in one location for the legal team to track. Now, what this does not do is actually hold any data. So it will not hold emails or application data or so forth. That can happen outside of the legal service delivery product. So this is really about notifying the custodians and tracking all the acknowledgments. And what I'll do is I'll walk through how that works. It's generally a five-step process. First, the legal team would create a legal hold matter, and there's a workflow for that. They would then edit and issue that hold notice, get the custodian acknowledgments, and then potentially send reminders if they have not received acknowledgments, um, and confirm those acknowledgments, and then finally close the matter. So let's take a look at how that works. So within the Legal Counsel Center, which is the workspace for the legal team, a member of the legal team can create a new legal hold matter. They can provide the information about the reason for the hold, a summary, a description, and so forth, and then add custodians. So in this example, Abel is being added as a custodian, and the data sources are specified. And you could add multiple custodians. And then there is that new legal hold notice matter. And you can see the button highlighted there, Issue Legal Hold, provides a preview of the legal hold notice. And this notice was dynamically generated using the information in that catalog item, as well as a template that is included with this application. Now, the legal team can edit that notice and go in and change the variables or the text if they want. They can then save it and preview it. And then that legal hold notice can be sent out to all of the custodians. That notification can be sent it would be sent via email, as well as a task assigned in the employee center. These are examples of the notice. So the email does contain an attachment, and there would be a link to the actual acknowledgement screen. When they click the link, they're taken to the Employee Center portal, and under their tasks, they would see the acknowledgement for that legal hold. They could go in and again see details of that hold and then simply hit acknowledge. Back in the Legal Counsel Center, where this legal hold notification was created, the legal team can easily see all of the custodians in one place, and what their status is, whether they've acknowledged or whether they're still waiting for acknowledgement. And then they can select any of the custodians and send a reminder to them. And then once all of the custodians have acknowledged, then they can close that matter. And now I will hand it over to my colleague Ben to talk about what's new in Contract Management Pro.
Thanks, Shafaf. Hey again. Hello again, everyone. So we're going to talk about some of the new features that have just been released in Contract Management Pro. One of the main themes that I would say we're working toward is with not only these features, but as a product, is the main things you want to get out of a contract management solution is you want to reduce the amount of time people are taking to work on contracts, as well as you want to reduce the risk associated with a contracting process. So these features that we've just released, along with all of the features that are on our roadmap, are going to have that theme in common. And it starts with what was our first agentic AI release that we have now expanded upon, which is our repository, managed contract repository agentic AI feature. So what this is going to do is it's going to guide users through a couple of automated post-execution tasks that are going to happen when you have a contract that's signed and living within your repository. This includes the automated extraction of agreement metadata, which is a really important step because with that metadata, you may be setting off downstream processes, you may be making business decisions, and it's really important that the metadata that you have to populate for each contract accurately reflects the underlying content of the agreement. And whether or not you're having an agreement that's on your own template or third-party paper, as an agreement goes through a negotiation phase, that content might change. Someone may have entered it incorrectly. Whatever it might be, we have this last step with this automated metadata extraction as kind of a last line of defense to look through the agreement, pull out the relevant metadata, get it populated in the appropriate fields, and that way you can be confident when you're running reporting, analytics, making important business decisions, that the data that you're using it to make that decisions accurately reflects the underlying content of the agreement. So the first thing the agent will do is we'll help you with the extraction of that metadata. Then once we've extracted that metadata, it's also going to help us with the setup of contract reminders for renewals or expiration. That's a really important step because certain contracts may have an auto renew clause, they may have an auto expiration clause, or they may have a notice period where you're required before a certain amount of time passes to give notice of your intent to renew, of your intent to cancel, whatever it might be. This is a really huge help in that risk reduction phase that I was talking about in making sure that auto cancels, auto renews don't get set off without someone taking a look at this contract prior to that notice period so you can make whatever the correct decision is for your business. So the AI agent's also going to help with that. Keeping it with the theme, it reduces the administrative burden and obviously with the risk reduction. So if we go to the next slide, we'll get a little preview of what this feature is going to look like. So this is a signed, what we call CNTR record, which is the signed contract repository record that's living within the ServiceNow contracts repository. As you see the chat box on the right, this is where our AI agent is going to take over, and you can see we have a configured playbook. So after you click on this open playbook button and we move to the next one, we can see that the first step we're going to do is review the extracted metadata. And you can see on the left, this is that playbook, and we've defined the steps that the AI agent is going to take us through. So as we review this metadata, we're good on the next slide, Shafaf. You can go to the next one. Thank you. We can see the actual values that our metadata extraction AI tool has pulled out from this agreement. So we can see things we've defined like vendor name, contract type, start date, end date, value, all sorts of relevant fields that are going to be really important that may trigger downstream processes that we can make business decisions off of. And these are all customizable. So you can define these fields as per what's important to your business. What do you want to track? We do provide some that are out of the box, some default fields, but you will have the power to customize these and set them up whatever's most impactful for your organization. Once you review these fields and you make sure that they're correct, you can click on the submit button. Obviously, you could change it if something was incorrect, but once you're satisfied with the way that this looks, we can click on submit and we'll go to the next one. And then what we'll do is we'll move to the next step in the playbook, which is reviewing the milestones. And you'll see here that the AI will provide you with reasoning as to why it's making a decision for a notice date. And in this case, you can see the logic that went into its thinking. The vendor's renewal notice period is 60 days. The termination notice period is 30 days. There is an auto renew clause, and the amount of lead time it takes to complete a similar agreement to this is 45 days. So when it takes all of those factors into account, it's going to arrive at a notice date, which you can see there of November 30th of 2025, because that's going to allow you enough time to take the appropriate action on the agreement. And what it will actually do is it will create a ServiceNow task record assigned to the contract owner that will populate on that day and say, hey, we need you to come in and take a look at this agreement and perform whatever the necessary action is. Is that whether that's you want to terminate it, you want to renew it, whatever it might be, you will have ample time to do so. So none of these things will happen automatically, and you won't fall into a place that you don't want to get in. Maybe you don't want to renew the contract. You certainly don't want an auto renew to get set off. Or maybe you do want to renew it. You wouldn't want an auto cancel to happen. So it helps save a ton of time in this post execution phase. You're not having to go line by line through the agreement. You're not having to search individual clauses and pull out information. We're going to do that in an automated fashion, and then we're going to make sure that the appropriate parties are notified for the actions that they need to take. And then once you mark as complete, this process would be done. So we go to the next slide. And you can see here are the people that are going to be notified, and then we'll go to the next one. So that is the AI agent feature that we just released. We do have another feature that we just released as well, which is our redesign of the contract parent-child relationship. In the past, you used to only be able to link contracts post-execution, and now we've changed that so that way it's during or pre-execution phase. where you'll be able to inherit parent contract attributes and be able to link them at an earlier phase. So it just helps, again, with that reduction of risk, saving of time for contracting administrators. If we go to the next screen, I'll show you all what that looks like. This is not an AI feature. This is just a new, what we would call core contracts feature. But as you see, when you're working on a non-disclosure agreement, you can click to link the contract. Once you click to link the contract, you'll see that you can select which one you want to link it to. And you can establish if you want to inherit that parent contract's features or not. And then once you decide on that, you can see that now it'll show up in a related contracts list, and you'll be able to inherit all of those parents' contracts features. And if we go to the next slide, we can see what that actually looks like from the master agreement record, and we can see all of the related contracts associated with it. So just another feature to help throughout the contracting process, making sure that the right contracts are linked together and you can inherit any details. Keeping this in mind, this is the latest release. Coming up in December, we have a bunch of new features as well with our conversational search as well as a document comparison. So look forward to sharing that with you all today. But if we go to the next slide, I think that was everything we had planned to show for CM Pro. Appreciate your time and attention. If there are any questions, feel free to reach out, ask them now. But Shafath, I will pass it back over to you.
Great, thanks. Really excited about the new release there. We have a number of resources to help you get the most value out of your ServiceNow investment. These include ServiceNow Impact. We also have training and certification programs through ServiceNow University, as well as expert services that can help you to implement products or new functionality. With that, thank you to all of the panelists, and thank you to all of our attendees for joining this webinar.